people of Lake Town, I ask that you honor your pledge. A share of the treasure so that they might rebuild their lives.
I will not treat with any man, while an armed host lies before my door.
That armed host will attack this mountain if we do not come to terms.
Your threats do not sway me.
What of your conscience? Does it not tell you our cause is just? My people offered you help. And in return, you brought upon them only ruin and death.
When did the men of Lake Town come to our aid but for the promise of rich reward?
A bargain was struck.
A bargain? What choice do we have but to barter our birthright for blankets and food? To ransom our future in exchange for our freedom? You call that a fair trade? Tell me, Bard the Dragon Slayer, why should I honor such terms?
Because you gave us your word. Does that mean nothing?
Hi guys, today we'll be talking about scarcity, elasticity, and supply and demand related to the movie The Hobbit.
The Hobbit is a story of three groups of people competing to take a mountain that contains almost all of the world's supply of gold.
In this conflict, we can see the three different economic concepts displayed in excess.
The first economic concept that is covered in the movie is the idea of scarcity, which is the condition in which our wants are greater than our limited resources.
In the movie, the three groups of people compete for the gold due to it being very scarce in all other parts of the world.
Essentially, the entire movie's conflict happened due to the scarcity of gold in the world and gold's abundance in the mountain.
The next economic concept that the movie covers is of elasticity, which shows how sensitive quantity is to a change in price.
All of the gold that is stored in the mountain has already been made by dwarves long before the main characters arrive.
And due to most of them being dead, it is also impossible to make dwarven gold anywhere in the world anymore.
This means that the gold has a very inelastic supply and demand due to almost all of it being owned by one single person.
This means that no matter how the price of gold changes, the amount of gold will be demanded will change very little.
We have come to tell you, payment of your debt has been offered and accepted.
What payment? I gave you nothing. You have nothing.
We have this.
We have the Arkenstone.
Thieves! How came you by the heir of our house? That stone belongs to the king. The king may have it. In our goodwill. But first, he must honor his word.
The last economic concept that is covered in the movie is supply and demand.
Supply is the different quantities of a good that sellers are willing and able to sell at different prices, while demand is the different quantities of goods that consumers are willing to buy at different prices.
Supply and demand both work together to determine the perfect equilibrium in quantity and price level.
As stated before, the supply curve is very steep due to it being extremely inelastic. That can be seen here.
The demand of the gold is also very inelastic and steep, and that is shown here.
Now if we add a few lines to show the equilibrium and long-run supply, this becomes a full supply and demand graph.